All right, welcome back. This year I surfed a ton, but I also injured myself a lot, and so I worked together with my friend and physical therapist, Pierre, to put together a workout plan to combat overuse injuries in surfing. It's really common for surfers. If you surf a lot, you overdevelop certain muscle groups and you mess up your posture a little bit that can cause pain and injury like thoracic outlet, circulation problems, disc issues, entrapment. And so we sat down and made a program that you can do easily at home, quickly, to help prevent overuse injury and kind of build your strength and posture so you can surf for a long time.
Most overuse injuries in surfing are from paddling. So we're gonna have Miles demonstrate poor paddling technique, and we're gonna give him a few tips to improve that. So first thing I notice here as he's paddling is that his shoulders are all the way up to his ears. We're gonna try to drive those shoulder blades a little bit closer to his back pockets here, opening the neck and preventing those muscles, the upper trap, from cramping up. Next thing is looking pretty far ahead of himself here. So we're gonna work on keeping that chin slightly tucked, maybe raising his chest a little bit more, keeping that chin a little bit more tucked and using his eyes to check out the horizon. And then finally, we see that he's pretty much just using his hands to just pull through the water. So if you keep your elbows pretty nice and high, you'll be able to drag the water using your hands and forearm, which will lead to more efficient technique. In the rest of the video, we will be going through some exercises to help promote good paddling technique and also offset some of the repetitiveness of paddling, which can lead to a closed shoulder posture and neck being forward. All right, in this first exercise, we're gonna target your neck extensors, those muscles here in the back of your neck. On a surfboard, you're technically just looking up at the surf in order to visualize your next wave. And over time, those muscles can start getting fatigued and leading to pain in the back of your neck. So what we're gonna do with this exercise is build the endurance of those muscles, hoping to reduce the amount of discomfort that you can get in during a long surf session. So we're gonna have Mal grab this long band. He's gonna place it in the back of his head like this and hold it with his hands. He's gonna go on all four, on hands and knees. And then from here, he's gonna first make sure that his shoulders are not all the way up to his ears, and he's gonna press the mat away from him. So rounding his upper back a little bit here. And then he's gonna make sure that his neck here is perfectly in line with the rest of his spine. His chin is slightly tucked, and you'll be holding this exercise for 20 to 30 seconds as long as you're not experiencing pain, and then you do this for the prescribed amount of reps. Common mistake with this exercise is, as you go through the duration, is having your shoulders starting to ride up toward your ears, so definitely keep them nice and low like this. For this next exercise, we're gonna go through what we call the open book stretch. So to set up, we're going to be on your side like this. Miles is gonna bring his knee pretty close to his chest. We're gonna have a closed angle here. We're gonna make sure that both knees stays together and stacked on top of each other. So don't open them and don't let them slide apart. And then from here, he's going to open just like a book, rotate outward like this as far as he can. And once he's here, he's gonna try to relax a little bit into the stretch. In order to favor that relaxation, Miles is going to take a deep breath in through his nose, get his rib cage to expand, and then breathe out. And as he breathes out, he's trying to rotate some more. You can repeat that a few times, 2 or 3 times, 2-3 breaths, until you feel that you have reached a maximal rotation possible. We use those muscles a ton in surfing, paddling, and so these muscles get a bit overpowering. That will be important to help open that chest again. Then you'll close the book, and then you'll switch to the other side. So for this second exercise, targeting your mid-back, this time we're gonna be starting in the same position as we did with the open book, but the only difference is that we're going to add a weight that will help your brain learn this movement a little bit better, getting some control rather than just doing a passive stretch, which your brain will forget pretty rapidly. So we're gonna have Miles pick up the weight and press it over toward the ceiling. He's gonna make sure his knuckles are pointing toward the ceiling. His shoulder is not up to his ears, it's nice and drawn like this. And then everything is nice and stacked. So your dumbbell is stacked over your shoulder joint, and then this shoulder is stacked over the bottom shoulder. From here, he's gonna lower that dumbbell and rotate just like we did for the open book stretch. You should feel that nice stretch here in the back. also in the front of the shoulder. If that's a little too intense here, you can bring the elbow closer to your side. And then from here, it's going to press back toward the ceiling, restacking all the way. A lot of people kind of get that part a little bit wrong, and they do not fully stack everything. They're kind of hanging back. I'm looking for a vertical line for the dumbbell to this shoulder, to the bottom shoulder. So let's do a few more like this, Miles. You're allowed to bring your head on the floor once you're here. Keep the elbow a little closer, and then press back up like that. Start with a light to medium weight, and as you get more familiar with this and you're able to do this with good form, then you can start picking heavier dumbbells if you have that accessible. And you'll do that on both sides. And again, make sure you only move through the range of motion that feels comfortable to you. So for this next exercise, we're gonna be targeting your mid-back, especially the muscles living in between your shoulder blades. They are important to help you move and stabilize that shoulder blade as you go through the paddling motion on the surfboard. And then all you're gonna need is a bit of floor space and then some light dumbbell or no dumbbell if this is pretty challenging. If you don't have dumbbells as well, you can use some cans of soup or beans or some light water bottles. So we're gonna lay on your stomach like this. We're gonna make a W shape with your elbows and shoulders like this. Miles is gonna have his head off the floor, neck perfectly aligned with the rest of his spine, slight chin tuck, and then he's gonna lift the dumbbells off the floor and turn his thumbs toward the ceiling, keeping the nice W shape. He's trying to pinch his shoulder blade together, especially the lower part here, and slide that down toward his back pockets like this. You're gonna feel that a lot here, maybe a little bit on the back of your shoulders, and then also into the low back. If it gets a little too intense in the low back, you can squeeze your glutes to help kind of support that low back a little bit more, and you hold this for about 10 seconds, and then you come back down. We're gonna give a bit of rest to Miles. And then we're gonna do one more rep, and I'm gonna go through a few common mistakes that we see. So let's go one more time. Common thing that we see is people just bring the elbows really close to their sides. So we wanna keep them a little further away. Nice bend here in the elbows. And then make sure that these shoulders stay down like this. You definitely don't want to feel that up here. This should be pretty silent here, a bit soft. So don't let that creep up toward your ears. And then don't look forward when you do that. Keep looking straight at the floor with a slight chin tuck. And we can rest. All right, in this exercise, still targeting your mid-back and shoulders. So we're gonna be starting with an elastic band that's anchored about shoulder high to something sturdy. We're gonna start with the arms nice and straight like this. Miles is going to roll his elbow with palm facing down here, and then he's going to rotate into external rotation like this, making sure he's not drawing this elbow further back. It's really just a pivot like this. And then he's gonna come back down and then row. So it's really two motion, rowing, rotating back, back, and down. So a couple of things to pay attention is we don't want to let that rib cage flare forward like this. We want to try to keep those ribs down, keep your abs a little bit on as you do this, and then don't let that head jolt forward like this. It's a common mistake to do this and up like that. We want to keep that nice and centered so we can see that his ears are right over his shoulder here, and he's demonstrating a good posture. Make sure you do this with a band that's light enough that you're not breaking down in form. Oftentimes I see people doing that with pretty heavy bands, and then especially the rotation part start to fall apart. So start with a light band, focus on your form, and as you get better, you can start using stronger bands.
All right, so these exercises are intended to help you with your holistic surf fitness, but if you have specific injuries and you're in the Santa Cruz area, you should come see Pierre at On The Move Physical Therapy. I'll put the link in the description. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.